welcome back to Netrunner from the San Francisco Bay Area. I have a game here from the Gamescape North, that's Gamescape in San Rafael, Store Championship from March 19th. This was a business first tournament, and I have with me commentating tonight, Eric. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing well. Hello, Brian.
And we have on the left, Kyle from Portland playing ETF. And I don't know why the Portland part was significant. I guess because this is in Northern California, so Portland was quite a journey for him to take.
He came down here, and he's trying to steal this tournament from us. So.
Trying to steal it. Yes,
yeah.
It's ours. And, he came down. I think he had something else going on, if I remember. I was talking to him, and he also knew that this was happening, so came down to play in the Store Championship. And we, of course, have Noah on the right, Mr. Noah McKee, playing Kate. Featured on this channel quite a bit. Did very well at Worlds. Top 4 at Worlds, number 4. He, I think this was his, 4th Store Championship. This is the finals.
It's like the 4th one. Well, we don't want to give anything away. But he won a bunch of them.
He won a bunch of Store Championships. Noah is very good. And with his classic white playmat, he plays with that. He says, so there's not distractions, which I can respect. I get that.
But then what happens when he looks over at his opponent? Isn't, Quetzal kind of distracting?
He can't control that. You can only control so much. So
yeah.
ETF taking the mulligan, taking the mandatory draw, and we're off.
Okay. That was really quickly mulligan shuffling. I was like,
so
we're gonna be here.
This is, of course, practicing for that museum deck that was coming down the pike.
That's
here.
right, sure.
And this is Kate post Most Wanderlust. What do you expect out of Noah with Kate here?
I really don't know. There's a lot you could be doing. You could be doing Stealth Kate with keeping prepaids. You could be doing just other shenanigans and Shaper good stuff. You could be doing Apocalypse. I don't think that's what Noah's on, but those are all legitimate things people do in Kate now.
Oh man, I'd love to see Apocalypse right here, turn 1.
So that was install, take a credit. Is he rushing an agenda?
I don't know. I would guess it's a campaign. That looks like, but who knows? Because he took a mulligan, so he might be in a position to run ABT right now. He's looking at the card. I'm looking at his hand. It's a little bit hard to tell. The lighting wasn't great here.
Archived memories in there, maybe? I'm not sure. Okay. I think he's going to if this is an agenda, he's going to get called out on it. Noah just dirty laundries it. That's so confident.
Well, yeah. So what can he res here?
Nothing.
So a Turing seems likely. So it is the Turing.
Okay.
But Noah is known, and I don't know if Kyle knows this coming down from Portland, but Noah is known for running the David. Let's go see. He spends 2. Is this deck running David?
He missed out on his Kate discount there, too, so...
Yeah. Worth it. Whatever. Yep, so there's the David. He is
David.
It. So he has 2 credits after this, and the Dirty Laundry coming in.
So
he can't trash it.
Trash Adonis. Oh, no.
It's funny. There's where the Dirty Laundry bit him, but it's fine. He could just go right back in. He might not have the clicks at this point, I'm realizing.
And then burning another David counter is kind of a bummer. I assume he's running scavenge and stuff. He must have ways to reload it, right?
He can just go in next turn, so it's not a big deal. He can let. You know what? Kyle can't even res it, so they
Kyle
both got screwed from that. Yeah, it's fine. So Kyle's gonna have to stick a Caprice in there with it, or reinforce with another ice and get money, and then centrals are open. So Noah electing just to draw a card seems reasonable. I think peeking at R&D might have been a fine option too. Alright, so it looks like we're making money this turn.
Yeah, he wants to be able to res that next turn for sure. And was probably hoping he would draw into Breaker Bay grid.
Yeah. Oh, here we see some tech now.
All right.
Well, not tech, but here we see some spice.
Yeah,
I'll call
this is some definite spice.
And Noah also, he ran if you look it up online, it's the Book of Kate is the name of his deck that he did really well with Worlds. Right. And you're seeing 2 of the pieces here. He did Tech Rider and David, and this was kind of right after Tech Rider came out. No one was really playing David outside of Anarch. So he really developed this playstyle as far as I know.
Yeah, and so these hyperdrivers are just purely to get efficiency, right? They're not like, he does it right away. Yeah, so
he's not doing some combo here with medium. He doesn't hesitate. He's just
Yeah.
look into setup with it.
This is not like a keyhole you 14 times in one turn deck.
Yeah. And, Noah, I wouldn't expect to play a deck like that, but every once in a while he surprises you. He won Games of Berkeley Store Championship with that, what was that deck? Sync with Dedication Ceremony.
Right, Dedication Ceremony, reversed accounts. That's pretty tight. Your opponent loses all their money.
Dropping Leprechaun. So Leprechaun, not a card everyone remembers. That's a 1 memory. It can host up to 2 programs and uses saves their memory cost. StimHack, I love it.
It's got plenty of cards. Why not?
Is that's StimHack on the remote? I think, right?
I think so. It's angled that way. I thought it was HQ at first, which seems crazy. But
so that makes more sense. He breaks and he chooses not to. This is so interesting. He's
not gonna pop SMC here. I guess he's thinking it's an Ash, and he wants to have enough money.
He's thinking it's an Ash, and what would have been interesting is if it was a Caprice and he didn't res it just to like make. I don't think that would be good. I'm trying to figure out a play you can do where you don't res Ash, but I don't think it's a good play.
So that Hyperdriver, I just want to point out, was like pretty much a diesel, right? He installed it for free, and then his first 3 clicks were all draws.
Sure. It has the flexibility like that. Like, clicks you can spend. And look, he just SMC'd for another Hyperdriver.
Yeah, sure. Spend some money. That makes sense.
And he knows math because he has exactly 6 left on the StimHack, which is what the cost was. It's almost like he knew that was an Ash. How would he know that? Is he reading his mind?
I don't know. I hear that HB runs Ash. Like
being snarky. So he does take a brain damage. The other thing about StimHack, but that's fine. It's only his brain. It's HB. Who cares, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you'll be all right. Mimic.
And watch when Kyle starts fast advancing out brain chips.
That would be amazing.
So he's using the Hyperdriver immediately again. Yeah, just econ. Just draw cards, set up. He's drawn cards here. I think the deck might also have Procon. I think he just drew it. So
okay, yeah, it's a bummer that he didn't have that earlier. Actually, he would have already made like 12 credits off it or something.
Yeah, that's my understanding of like why it's in the deck. Is it's econ, but it's econ with Procon. Turns it into super diesel. It's diesel that you get 3 credits and 3 cards.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
so and it just has the flexibility of like clicks you can do anything with.
Right.
And you install it for free with Kate, and Leprechaun hosts it. And, it's just like synergies here that aren't combos. They're not like super combos. It's just good synergy. It's just
right. Yeah. Just a good Netrunner card.
And David is out of counters, which for Kyle means absolutely nothing. Because you see David, it seems reasonable that Noah's running Scavenge, or at least clone chips to somehow get it back.
Right.
So he doesn't really have a window here.
Yeah, I don't think so. Even though Noah's fairly low on credits, next turn is probably going to be like 2 or 3 Procos and play an economy card, so.
Yeah. He could, that's true. Kyle, I think, has a play here where he tries to just sort of somewhat bluff out an ABT or whatever. Yeah, he might be doing this. I didn't actually see what the card was. It'll be a mystery.
Installs over R&D, too.
Yeah. It's Shaper. Why not?
Yep.
So he kind of replaced the prepaids with Hyperdrivers.
Noah putting that card back on top of his deck. I'm not sure. Is he deciding whether or not he wants to draw?
I think so. Maybe he hasn't seen it. I didn't see what he actually did there. He probably just like touched it and then.
Yeah.
You know what? I think brain damage. Yeah, they were resolving brain damage from the turn before.
He did. His
Noah's just making sure that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you forget about brain damage when it's not really relevant. Like if it's not a kill deck you're playing against. Yeah. You kind of forget it. Like both players often do. It's just one of those things. Like how valuable is that hand size? I don't know.
So, but what
Scavenge,
if Kyle?
There we go.
What if Kyle is on some crazy like cerebral overrider, kill you HB ETF?
What if?
That would be pretty amazing.
So Noah sees the Eve, decides not to trash it, and Kyle promptly reses it. And so he's playing a slower game now, for sure. Noah's checking those remotes. I don't think he's going to be able to sneak anything by, and he has a little bit of time before that Eve runs out.
Yeah, Noah's done just such a great job of controlling his economy early. It's really stunted the corp, I think. Trashing those two Adonis was just huge.
Yeah. And so Noah lets Eve run while he builds up toward... Oh my god, another Eve. Sure.
Oh, he's going to have money now.
See, Noah's being very, very strong in his like promise that I will check everything you put down.
Yep.
Because with Eve down, I can see how I'd be tempted as Corp to try and just sneak an agenda next to it and be like, oh, the runner wants to build up this turn. I'm just gonna sneak this through, but not gonna happen. And so Kyle's having to hold on to those agendas in hand now, and I don't know if Noah has the influence for legwork, but that might be coming up soon. Clone shipped. Sure. So he's using up his Kate discount on, and look at those tech writers go. 9 credits in on tech writers.
So that was essentially free, right?
Yeah.
Discounted to 2, and then he gets 2 credits on tech writers. So
yeah. And Noah's gonna have to spend 2 clicks to get all those credits, but that's you have that flexibility too. So he can just take 7 whenever he wants, and he can let the other one build up to 5, 6, 7, whatever.
Yep. Okay, so dieseling, digging for stuff.
Kyle's economy is developing pretty fast. I think we're going to want to get some ice res to slow that down a bit.
He did not res that other Eve, which is a little bit curious to me. I guess he felt like that would make it so he couldn't res enough ice should Noah decide to go on the attack.
Sure. That seems reasonable. He would be down to 5 credits now, and you're a maker's eye away.
Would be like 8, right? Because the payout from Eve.
Oh, right, yes. Okay, Noah has some breakers. Yep. Yeah, so you draw into Lady, and I guess you just have to play it, because what else are you going to do? You're not going to, like, waste a clone chip on it.
Kyle reading Leprechaun, like, how did they print this broken card? It's way too good.
Yeah, and Noah not even bothering to use it right now. He has another hyperdriver in the deck, and maybe an SMC he'll host on it, but
yeah.
I think this also means he's not running Astrolabe. Which is fine.
I guess that's possible. It doesn't seem right. He must have an Astrolabe.
He doesn't really... Like, how many cards does Astrolabe draw you on average? Let's say 2.
Well, I mean, but in some matchups, it's just incredible, right? Like, against NEH, you're going to draw, like, a dozen times.
So, in some matchups, it's really good, and that's a good point. There's also some consistency issues of getting it early. You don't often want to run 3.
Yeah.
And in matchups like this, it maybe draws you 1 card, maybe 2.
1 card that you've already missed, pretty much. So.
And he's not even really needing the memory on it. Like, he has all the memory he needs right now. So, if he's not... Like, mostly Astrolabe, you need the memory. And so you're playing it because it's a low cost. You could put it down for free as Kate, and you get the memory. And then sometimes you get card draw off of it, so that's better than Akamatsu.
For sure.
But, he doesn't need the memory, so he maybe just doesn't... He has Procon, too.
I wonder if he's not installing breakers on Leprechaun because he's fearing a program trash that, like, takes out a couple things. Doesn't seem like he would walk into that, but...
I just don't think he needs to. He's at 4 memory right now. He's using all of his memory, but what else does he need? He installs Gordian maybe, so he can put that on the Leprechaun.
So meanwhile, what is this install advance? This is a very peculiar move to me.
Well, it's that thing where it looks like an APD,
but it's not actually. It's actually like a beta test or something.
Yeah. Okay, this is. Yeah, so that will end the run and take a click, right? Oof. Unless I'm seeing some shaper. Okay, here we go. Here we see the real plan. Oh, I didn't notice he got that breaker bay down, man.
Yeah, he installed that in the Eve server. He was like waiting on it, I guess.
How much money did Eve have on her when he trashed it? It must have been at least like 8.
Had a few ticks left, yeah. Okay, so it is a beta test.
Oh, he's running it.
Does he trigger it?
Yep.
Here we go. The cards of fate. Oh, that's brutal. Okay, so does he have Jackson in hand? Yeah.
He must. Oh, come on. He must.
If he doesn't, that was pretty risky. He doesn't have a lot of ice on the board, though, so...
If he doesn't put Jackson down, it means he has a ton of ice in HQ, because he was confident on the... Oh, my God. Yeah, legwork right now is going to be extremely profitable. He doesn't discard anything either.
I'm not sure about this triple ice R&D when you only have 8 credits either.
Yeah. Yeah, what would that be? Is he playing that special offer?
That would be so good.
All right, going into the archives, yet does get the Vitruvius. It was a Breaker Bay and a Jackson. That's the worst insult.
Ooh, that hurts. Those 2 points basically just negated right away, so it's a bummer.
Yeah, that's and here's the legwork. Yep. So he's figuring he ran the beta test without Jackson because he was feeling good on the odds. You know, there's ice and R&D, agendas in hand, so that's the legwork. And he broke it just for 1 lady counter.
I think that's a huge insight, actually, is when somebody runs a beta test, it usually does mean they're flooded because they're not worried about the agendas in hand. Yep. See, there you go.
Yeah, he had 5 points in hand. So he had 5 points in hand. 2 scored on the table, so he's just feeling his odds were looking good.
Yeah.
And it could have paid off. He gets even 2 ice off of that, and man, you know, you get that ETF money.
But I think, you know, Noah's response was just like perfect there. He had to have the legwork in hand, but that was absolutely the right read.
Well, against, you know, he was doing a lot of drawing early, right? And against ETF, legwork is an extremely powerful tool.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets the other SMC here. Now he can break into that remote if he needs to, or he might just go get a hyperdriver. Who knows?
And Kyle could have put something that stopped the run on HQ too. Like, I don't know what the R&D ice is, but there are many things that Noah can't break right now.
The R&D ice might have just been something that he couldn't res or wouldn't have stopped Noah, and putting it on HQ would have signaled, I'm definitely flooded.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It could have been Kyle was just trying to very much signal that HQ has no agendas, which, you know, Noah just, even if that was Kyle's intention, Noah just ignored it, which I think was the right play.
So this is going to be a pretty tough hole for... Okay, 2 RDIs now.
Yeah, you know, on that ABT score effectively gave Noah 6 points because it showed him where the agendas were and it dropped 1 into archives.
I do see an archive memories in hand. I don't know if there are irrelevant targets other than maybe Jackson if you're desperate. But now he's not flooded. He lost all the agendas.
Yeah, problem solved. Isn't that nice that Netrunner is a natural balance like
that? It does. It does have a nice balancing effect.
Are you flooded? They printed a card called Legwork that's going to solve your problem. Noah slowly in the background developing that R&D pressure with 2 RDI installed on the table, ready to go. Powering the tech writers.
Yeah. Well, only 1 tech writer now.
Yeah, he took, I think, 7 or 8 off of the last one, so it did its job.
Yep, pretty decent.
Yeah, so that's 2 clicks for, let's say it was 8. I don't even know if that's accurate, but, is he leg working? Yep, and he just shakes his hand.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, he was mathematically, he had it, right? Yeah.
Wow.
He didn't concede, he was just like, yep, you got it. So legwork against HB. It can be really very, very good.
Really good sometimes. So there were probably 9 agendas in that deck, you know, that's the traditional ETF build, and he got
that sounds right.
Real bad.
Yeah. And he mulliganed too. I didn't see what his opening was, but he mulliganed, and I think he didn't get ice. You know, he tried to get that campaign early, which kind of backfired somewhat. He kind of overinvested in that campaign when Noah had David. If Noah doesn't have David there, then I think that all works out, because he had 7 and he spent 4 on, so he still couldn't have rezzed it.
Rezzing the early Turing really slowed him down momentum-wise, and then he couldn't res the campaign. It did distract from HQ though, so if he was flooded there in the beginning, Noah didn't run it. So
yeah, instead of putting Turing on HQ against Shaper is not super appealing. So
no,
it's better to have on the remote. Yeah, that could have been all calculated. It wasn't a horrible opening. It just was less than ideal.
Yeah.
And that K deck, really interesting stuff to see. Like, look at the most wanted list in action. That's your tax dollars at work, people.
Yeah, we took out the prepaids and put in Hyperdriver. Who would have thought?
Yeah, why not? And that's interesting because that requires Leprechaun, and he needed something to really invest into, which was Procon, which you don't really see in Kate as often.
Right. Yeah.
So interesting things afoot. Any last comments on that game?
No, it was unfortunate. ETF got a little bit flooded, but it was really interesting to see the counterplay. The Kate deck is really interesting, obviously, with David and Hyperdriver. So great game.
And that was the finals of that store. So Noah did take. We kind of semi-spoiled at the start. I keep spoiling stuff at the start of these videos. I can't help it. I know what happens, and I forget that everyone else doesn't. But yeah, Noah did win that. I think that was his 4th store championship he won.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So he
Pretty
did pretty good
unbelievable.
this season. He let a few of us other chumps get some wins, so that was nice of him. Anyway, we will have more up on the channel soon. All we have left at this point is regional, so there will be a whole slew of regional games up on this channel very soon. Thanks again, Eric, for commentating.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone for watching.